It's the Big Show versus Mankind. And there's a stipulation here, which is the winner referees the main event.
Yeah.
And in WrestleMania, sometimes the first few matches, you can go, okay, it's not quite found its feet, but we're going to take off fairly soon.
Yeah.
And I thought with this match, okay, it's Foley. This is a great period for Foley. Between Hell in the Cell and between his retirement, he has some great matches. And Big Show, this is his first really big main card appearance.
Right. God, imagine seeing him for the first time.
He is huge.
He's
legitimately huge.
Because his actual face, I mean, obviously here he's got hair.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I only know the Big Show as the bald guy. So, like, I sort
Gotcha.
of get him confused a little bit with King Kong Bundy because they're quite similar facially.
He also, Big Show, has a fluctuating weight throughout his career.
Right.
And sometimes he's very, very heavy and he's not very good, and other times he's in shape and he's better. In these early days, he seemed like the biggest star the industry would ever have. I mean, he suffered from acromegaly, which was, and I can never say that word right, but it's the same syndrome that Andre the Giant had.
Yes, okay.
And if not arrested, you don't stop growing.
Yeah.
But what you can do is you can have, I think, the pituitary gland removed, and that stops the growth.
Yes.
Andre ends up it continually grows. His organs are getting bigger and bigger. His hands are getting bigger and bigger. His head and his feet and everything is, then the one thing that doesn't get bigger, of course, is his skeletal system.
Yeah.
And everything begins to collapse. But Paul White, the Big Show, has an operation at 12 to arrest it. At 12, I think he's something like 6'2". He's got chest hair. And he keeps going, I think he's a legitimate sort of 7'1".
Right, okay.
In his early days, he moves to WCW. Pretty much, it's his second match was against Hulk Hogan, and he won the WCW Championship. He'd been billed it really, really early months to that as the son of Andre the Giant, which was not something he was keen on. He was a big wrestling fan, and he felt it was a bit disrespectful, really, to Andre that this guy who's never wrestled before is being given that moniker.
Yeah.
So, by all accounts, he's a great guy. I should say, though, 3 months before this WrestleMania appearance, he is arrested for indecently exposing himself to a woman working in a motel. The charges are dropped for a lack of evidence. You can see his mugshot from this time. His eyes look a little bit like he's had a late night.
I think with a man that large, it's kind of hard to decently expose yourself to anyone, I imagine.
I mean, the last thing you want if you're a giant is to be told there's insufficient evidence.
Oh, no.
Zing.
Oh, dear.
This is the period where Mankind could not be bigger. And he is in a match about who's going to be the referee of the main event.
It's such a weird prize.
It really
such
is.
A shit prize.
Why would Mankind give a fuck?
Shit. He was just
Why would he give a shit?
Fucking Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
He just thought,
Oh, I'll tell you what. Do you know what? I'll fight this giant, and hopefully he won't kill me, because I want the prize of fucking counting with my hand someone else's match. No. Bullshit.
Nonsense.
This is the first person who comes out the audience to go absolutely haywire for. And again, it's because of the problems. They want to see Mankind do something awful. They've got him against a giant. Oh, maybe the giant will crush his head, will rip his face off, and then, just squash him off into a ball and eat him. And Foley takes a couple of good bumps here. There is a bit where he's on the back of Big Show, and Big Show just goes backwards. And you suddenly realise Big Show is just like a wardrobe. It's just like...
I was thinking, wow, I hope that ring is, like, sprung rather than just the wooden ones.
I look at stuff like that. I was looking at something the other day where someone had gone through... They'd gone out of the ring and they'd landed on the floor because someone didn't catch them.
Yeah.
Someone came over and there was just no one there, and they just landed straight on their back. And I thought, do you know what? If that happened to me in my day-to-day life... That'd be something I'd be talking about 9 years on. People go, oh, here he goes. And I go, yeah, and it just changed my life, because I've never been able to... And when I look at that Big Show thing, it would be like if I was trying to get on the top of a cupboard and I'd just gone backwards in the room and the cupboard had landed on my chest. And I was thinking...
And Big Show's in the cupboard.
Yeah. And I just sort of go, that would ruin my life. And I watched Mick Foley do all the stuff that he does, and I go, God, and he gets up like 10 seconds later.
I mean, it's just
carries on and does it again.
If you're flipping yourself backwards onto a man's body and you're 7'1", and you're Big Show and you're massive, how do you not burst the diaphragm?
Oh.
How does Mick Foley not burst?
I mean, you would think...
You can't absorb anything up with your arse.
No.
Like, as Mick Foley says he's got big arses, he's got big legs and stuff. Like,
but once he's on the ground and Big Show's on him, then just gravity means his body has to go somewhere, and it can't support the weight. Oh, yeah. Right.
I've taken my last breath. See you later. It's been a good run.
My eyes came out. That's gross. But there we are.
I can hear Mr. Socko screaming.
Man, they have this fucking stipulation about if you win, you can be the referee.
Yeah.
And then, as it goes on, what happens is Mick Foley is taken out on an ambulance, so even though he's won by disqualification, he's not going to be the referee. And then the Big Show turns on Vince McMahon, and then Vince McMahon says, right, well, I'll be the referee. Oh, well, why did we go through all of that? Right? And then, even better than that, by the time we get to the main event, it's just a normal referee.
Yeah, and like Michael Cole shouting, this is a tragedy. No, it's not.
The Big Show has knocked out the boss! Get help! Get help! The Big Show knocked out Mankind, and now he knocked out the boss! It all started last week, folks, when the Big Show was beaten by Austin. Shut up, Michael Cole! This is a tragedy! Look at this!
The Attitude Era is a lot of people spitting water around, crotch chopping and wearing pleather.
Yeah, and no colour but black. Everyone wears black. They always had a big thing about going, the Attitude Era is not about black and white, it's about shades of grey. Everyone is wearing black. Everyone is wearing black. It's only when you watch a WrestleMania you go, God, there's a lot of stuff here I don't care about. a little bit like the fifth match, which is the Intercontinental Champion Road Dogg versus Val Venus versus Goldust with the Blue Meanie and Ryan Shamrock versus Ken Shamrock. A perfect example here of too many storylines happening at once.
Isn't the Blue Meanie like his Goldust's daughter or something? Like,
you're Vince Russo. No, so I cannot even remember.
An egg that Goldust laid or something weird like I don't know. There was some comment that one of the commentators made that the Blue Meanie has some ungodly connection to Goldust.
The problem is, you see, is this time is so bad and so confusing when it comes to that. I don't know whether that's not right or is right. And the weird thing is, you've said, did a man lay an egg and another man come out of it? And I have to say, Pete, I don't know.
If it was, I don't know. If it wasn't, it would have been all smooth. It would have been like Danny DeVito climbing out of that sofa covered in grease.
In any other possible scenario, if you said a man laid an egg and did another man come out of it, I would be able to say no. No. With certainty. Well, you know.
I could cradle him in my arms and shield him from all of this evil, angry place in which we live. And when his little blue head is nuzzled deep within my bosoms, then, and only then, he will know that his mommy is here.
Weirdly, this was a match where I was thinking, Goldust as a name. The way they spell it isn't actually Goldust. It's either Goldust or Goldust. It's neither. It's not Goldust. That's how they spell it. They don't spell it Goldust. It's Goldust. And also, I've seen Goldust a lot recently, dressed like wearing like a police badge. Is he now like a policeman?
You know what's weird? I follow him too, and I can't work out whether he's a policeman or it's just
friends of policemen.
Or just like because Kane is a mayor.
Yeah.
Whether he somehow got involved with Kane's police force, I don't know.
I think he was given an honorary sheriff thing.
Yeah. Let me tell you, he's very proud of it, isn't he?
He's just always like either riding in a patrol car or he's got his little badge out.
You know, I hope that they don't do due diligence when they give those badges out.
The police could do with a little bit of diversity, that's all I'm saying. A pansexual policeman.
Yes.
It's the pansexual policeman.
Again, it's like sometimes when they run out of things for wrestlers to do, they will sort of make them into policemen.
I mean, to be fair, Goldust probably looks more like a policeman than any of the fucking policemen who arrests Big Show later on. It's the worst bit of fucking Jimmy's fucking costumery.
And they put him in like a red saloon car. Oh yeah, that we know police around the world use. That's a police car, isn't it? A red 5-door saloon.
Bug jam him into this tiny little car.
God.
And Big Show's neck is at 90 degrees. And I was thinking,
really is.
Life is pain for that man. He's too big.
In 2004, Big Show actually ended up buying his own bus and hiring his own bus driver to get him around.
Because it's just not,
Why is he having to do that? Why aren't they treating him well?
Look, you've got big guys.
Yeah.
If they're not tall, they're wide.
Yeah.
Sort it out, guys.
Oh, you know, it's funny, actually, you doing all this complaining. Andre was the same. Said he died in agony as a result. Anyway, don't want to hear it. Get in the saloon car. Absolutely insane.
So this match features Ryan Shamrock. When I read that Ryan Shamrock was in this match, I don't know why Americans get so upset by gender-neutral toilets, because their names are all over the fucking place.
Aren't they?
Ryan Shamrock. It's a woman.
Yeah. Yep, it is a woman.
It's a woman.
It is a woman.
It's Goldust, the woman. She's got tits. He's got tits.
Ryan Shamrock is a lady called Alicia Webb. She had a very brief career as a valet. She was given the character of Ken Shamrock's younger sister, Ryan Shamrock.
Okay.
In real life, she was going out with Ken Shamrock because she's not related to him.
Oh, no.
Her name is Alicia Webb.
Imagine spotting the mackin' in the street.
She leaves the WWE. They've asked her to sign a 5-year contract. She says, I don't really want to, because she's been bullied by China, but also because the angle they wanted her to do was apparently an incest angle involving her and her fictional brother / real-life partner, Ken Shamrock.
He's not going to be pretending to be fucking his sister,
all we want to do is make America think you're fucking your real-life sister. What don't you understand?
You came up with this. You came up with the sister angle in the first place. For crying out loud. Go back to Blue Meanie and the egg stuff. That made sense.
Don't pay attention to Blue Meanie and the egg. The important thing is, kiss your wife, but all you have to do is pretend she's your sister. What is this business?
What a mess.
Blue Meanie, legitimately a rip-off of the Yellow Submarine, the lead villain.
Oh, yes.
Seems risky, doesn't it?
It does seem risky.
To try and fuck about with the Beatles copyright. I thought this WrestleMania was quite bad, but now we've got to this match, I'm realising it was great. Road Dogg, who comes out, and I think I mentioned this, but he shouts, "Somebody roll this dog a bone!" Call out for some drugs.
Yep.
Road Dogg had a really, really good intro, and actually watching this back, at the time, I didn't realise how good he was. Watching him back now, he's so good on that mic. And he comes out and he has this big spiel that he does. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, all this sort of stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, D-Generation X proudly brings to you its Intercontinental Champion of the World, the Road Dogg, Jesse James.
You can hear the whole crowd saying it word for word along with him.
Right.
And not once in the history of him doing that, when they cut to the crowd, do they ever manage to find someone who knows more than 2 correct words? And you can hear everyone in the stadium doing it.
Yeah.
And every time they cut to it, someone will be going, ladies and gentlemen. And the next one they'll do is they'll sort of go, wow, 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 like that. And they'll cut away. You will never see someone doing it right. The last person in this match is Val Venus, who, again, a key Attitude Era star. He was based slightly on Dirk Diggler from Boogie Nights.
Right.
And he was supposed to be a retired porn star, although was he retired sort of thing, and that was very much part of he was an update really of Rick Rude. So Val, he was around for a few years. He was very popular, and he did develop a dependence on pills. He'd had a problem with his elbow,
right,
and he discovered marijuana.
Right.
So he began taking that, and he said, in 2008, I came off all pharmaceuticals and I never looked back. I could smoke marijuana and eat marijuana for the rest of my life and never suffer any liver disease or kidney failure due to pills. The pills will get you every single time. With marijuana, you could be 110 years old and still smoke it. So he left WWE in 2009. In 2014, he opened his own medicinal marijuana business, which is called the Purple Haze Lounge, and he educated people on medicinal pot. So on Twitter, he referred to himself as Captain Cannabis with 2 Ks. 2 Ks is still close to 3 Ks. You've got to be a bit careful with that. And he does a lot of inspirational tweets.
Yeah.
So I read this and I thought, oh, that's nice. I hope he's still doing it. I think he's still got his marijuana shop.
Right.
But things have taken a turn. He's no longer Captain Cannabis. He now bills himself as Top Shelf Anarchy. And he posts videos of himself walking around Tempe in Arizona, filming police cars, and titled things like "Looking for Sociopathic Domestic Slave Patrol." And hashtag taxation is theft, hashtag abolish government.
Wow.
But yeah, so he now puts out some memes. So there's a picture of him there in his wrestling heyday.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, to all the IRS agents collecting a speech marks paycheck, please inform me with the facts you rely on that would prove you are not bought and paid for professional extortionists, as well as the facts proving we private folk are obligated to remain victims of your state-sanctioned extortion. Val Venus.
Who keeps the lights on, mate? You know the lorries that bring in your weekly fucking
do you know what I do?
marijuana?
Do you know what I really do want to see? I want to see Val Venus versus IRS.
Yes! That would be so good.
In a medical marijuana match.
Or both off their nut on so much THC.
You can see why Vince Russo got carried away writing all this stuff, can't you?
Fucking idiots. You're tyrants.